In this episode, we're going to cover the gig economy, millennials in the workplace, and micromanagement. And I'm also going to share with you some tips in terms of what to do about it. This is The Defender. I'm Gregory Wade.
Hey Greg, can you give me a little bit of insight on the gig economy?
Well, the gig economy, or what many use as freelance, is an incredible phenomenon in the workplace today. Believe it or not, back in 2015, close to 15% of workers identified themselves as participating in the gig economy. You fast forward to 2020, and the projections are that over 50% of the workforce will actually be participating in the gig economy. And one of the reasons why I want to bring this message forward is particularly for millennials, but also those entrepreneurs at heart, to recognize and realize that this incredible dynamic in the workforce is something that they can participate in too.
Do you see more millennials gravitating towards the gig economy opposed to taking a corporate job?
Yeah, having led organizations across the globe and having brought on a number of millennials into my organization, I can tell you that I am super excited about this shift in the marketplace. The projections are that by 2020, over 50 million workers in the United States will be participating in the gig economy, and over 50% of them are going to be millennials. So I think this really underlines just how this dynamic is going to take hold in the marketplace and really encourage millennials, next-gen workers to be able to seek out on their own, to be able to leverage their entrepreneurial assets and capabilities, and to really contribute in a very different way to the economy.
What is your opinion on the Moonlighting Clause, and what does this mean for freelancers?
One of the things that I absolutely love doing on The Defender is providing tips and tools to both the next generation of worker as well as those folks who've been in the workforce for many, many years. And in this case, I'm actually sharing with you an important tip about really looking out for the Moonlighting Clause that an employer might put in front of you, which is effectively meant to preclude you from doing anything else outside of the organization. So it's super important that you take a look at that information in any contract, any clause that's put in front of you, and question it. And in fact, I actually would question the company if they're putting a Moonlighting Clause in front of you, because it demonstrates that they're not with it, they're not current, and they don't recognize the value that you can bring into the organization by having experiences outside.
How does micromanagement affect employee engagement?
Well, certainly at the highest level within an organization, the fact that they have a Moonlighting Clause within their contracts is representative, not necessarily of micromanagement, it's representative of a legacy company that has failed to evolve from a command and control structure to an environment of integrity and trust. The micromanagement component certainly is something that needs to be addressed, and it does have a significant impact on employee engagement. In fact, employee engagement levels across the Western world are at all-time lows. Within the millennial sector, believe it or not, actually 42% of millennials at any one point in time are actually actively looking to leave their organization. And micromanagement and poor managers certainly have an impact on those engagement levels. And for those managers who are micromanagers, there's actually a more current term for you, and that is helicopter manager. So it's time that you actually land that helicopter, turn in your pilot's license, and learn a new and innovative way of supporting your organization. Because remember, leaders instill accountability. Micromanagers control. Leaders delegate. Micromanagers create bottlenecks. Leaders inspire, and micromanagers create stress. So the question is, who are you? Are you a manager or are you a leader?
What does this all mean for next generation workers?
So for the next generation of worker, for millennials, and quite frankly, for those who have had years of experience, the great news is that with the rise of the gig economy, there's so many options out there for you to be able to express and to challenge yourself from a skill set perspective, that entrepreneurial spirit, to be able to gain amazing experience outside of the traditional walls of an organization. And you know what? If a company is forward-looking enough, if they actually have instilled an environment of integrity and trust, they're going to support you in that initiative to be able to bring back in what you've learned from the outside. What better way to be able to drive innovation and change within an organization than to encourage you to be able to express yourself in a whole variety of different ways. If you've been enjoying the content I've shared with you, please take a minute to subscribe to my YouTube channel.